We are live this morning from the third annual Global Sports Leadership Conference hosted by Bruin Capital and Sportico. We've been here now for the last 3 years with them, and joining us right now is the host right here in Kiowa, South Carolina, George Pyne, founder and CEO of Bruin Capital. You've been doing this with Jay Penske now for a couple of years. It's really nice to see you.
Great to have you, and we had a lot of fun. Very interesting people and global leaders. President Obama tonight, Prime Minister of New Zealand and Finland last night.
And I was saying before, I mean, you have all the, virtually all the commissioners here this year. So many different sports owners. We've got a number of them joining us a little bit later. It's quite something. Plus Kathy Wood, and we were saying Muhammad Al-Arian, and all sorts of finance types.
Carney, and we got all kinds of people, right? Brian Monahan, we got everybody.
Michael Rubin coming down. Just down in a little bit. By the way, before we even get going, we were talking about Caitlin. She's also making $3 million. I mean, which, by the way, is, I think, the third or fourth highest number of any college athlete.
Well, she's a phenom, right? She's beyond an athlete. She's just an iconic figure today in America. And she's earned it, right? 41 points, 12 rebounds with the assist. I mean, she's driving a lot of interest, and good for her.
What do you think it means longer term for the value of female sports?
I think female sports have real traction. I mean, when you take a step back globally, soccer is on fire, both in the United States from a women's standpoint, internationally. You see college basketball, even women's volleyball. I'm surprised at the traction that the Women's Pro Hockey League has. So there's just a tailwind in women's sports that hasn't been there before, and it's great to see.
What do you think? I want to talk about valuations of teams, because we also talk about the media ecosphere, which really powers the valuations of teams. But we have so much going on. We're going to be talking to Ted Leonsis. Obviously, the value of the team being in either D.C. or Virginia has a big impact. Mark Laurie and A-Rod are here. Right. They're involved in the valuation of whatever you think the Timberwolves is supposed to be. They're in that fight. What do you see happening here? Well, we've had such a rise.
It's had a huge rise, but you have a scarcity of asset. You do have real tax values that people don't really talk about. The tax benefits owning a team are enormous. And, of course, they're driven by media values, which are predictable. I mean, when you think about an NFL franchise now, they're locked into billions of revenues for 10 years. And most of the leagues are locked in for long-term value. So for the long-term standpoint, pretty stable. What happens when the linear continues to adjust? We'll see how that turns out. But for the short run, it's very strong.
You're in the private equity business. You don't own teams themselves, but I'm curious actually about what seems to be a major shift in sports, which is that private equity, sovereign wealth funds, pension funds are about to get into professional sports in a very big way.
They are in a big way. I mean, sports as an asset class is exploding. And you see transactions. I mean, look, a little thing many of you may not know about, MotoGP, which is a motorcycle racing, just sold for $4 billion to Liberty Media. So sports as an asset class, when you look at what the Saudis are doing in golf, it's being transformed. And, of course, private equity will follow as well as other investors.
In terms of the valuations, though, of Major League Baseball, football, basketball, does it need to have the pension funds and sovereign wealth funds in part because at some point there's an upper limit on the wealthy families in America that can buy NFL teams, for example?
Right, and when there's a balance on the team side of it, because you take the case of the NFL, like how much higher do you want the values to go? How much more gasoline do you want behind those values?
Right.
Because they're even limited to how many people can own that as well. I mean, when you own a minority interest in an NFL team, you don't have any rights. So that's a very challenging, as you push those values up, I mean, the air does get thinner. Right. But they're highly valuable. There's only a few of them. And the scarcity of asset does drive.
Dare I ask us about this industry? Jimmy Patero's here, who runs ESPN. And Disney, which of course owns ESPN, is in the midst of this battle with Nelson Peltz today. What do you think about the long-term value of an ESPN?
Well, first of all, it's well run. They have a great management team. But, they've gone from 100 million homes to 70 million homes to 50 million homes. They're challenged on the pricing, right? When they're at 100 million homes, take these 3 or 4 other networks as part of the pricing. So you lose your pricing power, you're losing unit sales, and then your reward is I'm B to B to C, and now I get to go to a whole new business, B to C, with thinner margins. So like whoever you put in the chair there, that's a challenging dynamic. They're a market leader, but that market, as I just said, is really changing.
Okay, but you're also, by the way, in the production business, right?
Yes.
You produce Full Swing, and you also own the company that actually makes Full Swing with Tiger Woods. You're in business with him as well.
That's true.
Which is the better business?
Well, they're both great businesses and great management teams. So we enjoy both of them in different ways. I had a lot of fun with the Full Swing, the simulation, the technology company. We have a great simulation game that goes into homes and bars and restaurants and actually great ball tracer. And also they do the technology behind the new Tiger Woods Golf League, the TGL, that's going to come out next year.
Where are you on sports gambling?
Sports gambling, look.
You own Fair Play.
We do, we do. Look, you're 19 times more likely to watch a game if you bet on a game. So I think it connects to the hardcore fan. It's another connection point for the leagues.
Who's going to be the winner of that? Is there only going to be 2 or 3 winners? And we keep talking about, DraftKings. Obviously, we could talk about just so many. By the way, where's MGM in all of this?
I know. Well, there were a lot of people. It will probably consolidate down, and we're still in the early days, right? So you still only have 30 states that have legalized gambling, so you have another 20 states to go. So I think let's see where we are in 5 or 7 years from now.
And then final question, because I'm going to talk to Ted about this a little bit later. You said that being a sports owner, you get a tax break, right? Like that's a benefit to all of this.
100%.
There's a big debate that's just happened in Washington, D.C. about giving tax breaks to owners. How do you think that's going to shift over the next couple of years? Because all of the big stadiums that were built in 20, 30 years ago, all those leases are now coming up. And so there's going to be these big fights in cities all across America about whether they're going to give tax breaks effectively to the folks who own these teams.
Well, you just had Kansas City had
a
tough result there. So time will tell. Look, these franchises are important to local communities. They drive a lot of value for the local communities, and that'll be up to the value proposition that the teams provide the communities.